feature. So yeah, with that, Rookie Team League Week 2 task starting now between Whites and Chinks versus Shieldbattery. Whites and Chinks up 1. This is game 2, match 2, best of 5. Will Puppykiller, representing Whites and Chinks, take the victory, giving it a strong 2-0 into a possible sweep, or will Shieldbattery come up ahead and tie the series? Let's find out.
Okay, so over in the 3 o'clock position we have the yellow Terran, not quite the orange Terran, but still a good color, Puppykiller, representing Whites and
Chinks. And
really hate that word.
Yeah,
well,
I'm gonna talk about that for a sec. But we also have now at the 7 o'clock position the Teal Protoss F10 EQQ representing Shieldbattery. Now, I don't know if you see the on my screen, but the whole the image of the Whites and Chinks. I'm looking at the image. I've been looking at the icon, and I see. Well, I don't want to imply anything, but like I'm not sure where this image came from. Like I'm looking at these funny images from some of these teams, some of these like their team logos.
Evil Eye in chat just quickly did point out that the thing of people not wanting to log on to IC Cup actually affected the BGH because they only had 2 people.
Well, technically BGHs don't count unless it goes to 2-2. So if
I suppose
if it goes to 2-2, then the victory will go to Whites and Chinks. But we don't want to spoil that. That's supposed to be a secret.
Good point. But Evil Eye.
No, but we're playing this on YouTube.
Yeah, ignore chat. That's fine.
No. We don't even have chat on our stream.
Oh, good point. Good point. There's no chat. Evil Eye didn't say anything.
No.
We're fine.
This is just our conscious thoughts telling us, hey, this is what might happen.
A 1-gate gas going up for F10. One thing that F10 likes to do, I've played with him quite a lot recently. He really likes going Reaver, so I'm not sure if he'll go Reaver this game. But the gas opening he's going for means he's going to skip that early Zealot, go straight into a Cybernetic core, and it's very possible he'll once again go Reaver. I'm not trying to give away his game plan, but that's his main go-to tech. So,
and we just saw a Probe and SCV just meeting each other. I believe that SCV is possibly lost, or just decided to hide the stuff there.
Yeah, he may have misclicked, because it's very easy on this map to actually misclick a little bit too far to the right, and then the SCV or the probe or the drone gets stuck.
But
so
meanwhile,
it looks
F10,
like he does actually realize he will go up into the base.
Seems like he got the correct positioning. F10 with the probe, actually now scouting the factory going up, whereas Puppykiller SCV also scouting that 1 gateway with the core.
Yeah, so he'll see the gateway core. There's no range going up yet.
No units actually going up at all.
There's a Dragoon, but it looks like he was actually supply blocked for just a few seconds, which actually delay his first Dragoon, and his range will now start after the SCV's already left. So that supply block may have actually helped him ever so slightly hiding his tech pattern. It looks like a Puppykiller. I'm not sure if he's queued up his SCV to move, or if he's actually going to move around and scout for a either a hidden base or some kind of hidden tech. So not seeing that, not seeing the range there that early, or that late, is usually a tell that maybe there's something hidden. It looks like he will actually go and check the 3rd base. Meanwhile, back at home, he has now put his SCVs back on gas. We will see him going for most likely some kind of FD with the amount of Marines he's building, and we'll see the command center starting not too far off in the future.
And we do see the Dragoon try to block off the SCV, but SCV goes up anyway because
the SCV will get in. The important thing is here, he will see the 3rd in-base pylon, so that's going to tip him off that there isn't currently a proxy.
Yeah.
But when you look at F10's probe, it could be very possible that he's going to proxy his robo there if he's going to go for Reaver. He is going 2-gate Dragoon with range, which is, I mean, it's quite an aggressive opening, but fairly standard. puppykiller will actually get a bunker, so he's not going to go for an FD. He's just going to get the 4 very defensive Marines, stick them in the bunker, and then get the.
And there's a pylon happening at the 5 o'clock position. Perhaps there could be a robo build here.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is he's using this probe to actually block that ramp, which means if puppykiller was to just randomly send an SCV down there, it would actually glitch out on the ramp and actually go up and scout the pylon, which is quite an important thing. It looks like puppykiller, still a bit aware that there could be something funny going on, is sending another SCV around the top of the map to avoid the dragoons that will be realistically coming to his base. I mean, there are 2 at his base now. He did go for a siege expand, very safe build. It's going to protect him against these dragoons, but it looks like puppykiller will see the Nexus and then pull back a little bit. He's still not sure what's really going on, so he's still checking for an additional base, maybe some additional tech hidden. But it looks like F10 is actually going to forego the robo here, although we do have the robo going up in his main.
He does. I think that pylon is more to block his 3rd expansion. It's like a little form of scout, but it could be a good investment in the longer run. Seeing how he's blocking the probe and making sure the Terran does not expand, or know when the Terran decides to expand. So that could be a good pylon if it's utilized in that way, and the pylon doesn't go down for a while. But if the pylon does go down, then he's going to be supply blocked.
The one important thing to note about the differences between this map and the newer version, which is actually being used in the ASL Teamleague, is the minerals in the left base, where F10 is right now, are actually in a completely different position. Now, F10 actually has quite a good advantage being on this version of the map, as there is a lot more room for gateways. So if this game does go later, he's going to have a lot easier time flooding gateways in his main than he may have had. I mean, puppykiller has a big base as well, obviously. It's just due to the layout of Terran bases usually, he's not going to get as much of an advantage as the gateways will. But obviously this will all come down to later in the game. It looks like rather than going for some kind of proxy like I thought he might do, F10 is just going to go into his observatory and actually going to go straight into a Stargate, so we could see a very early Arbiter.
Oh, and puppykiller is doing bless you. He's doing what F10 kind of did earlier with the pylon. He's building a supply depot actually at that location in the 10 o'clock position as a form of scout in some ways.
Yeah, so the interesting thing here will be if he actually decides to finish the depot, which he does. He's going to use it for his supply. One very cool thing you can do as Terran is basically 3/4 of the way finish the depot, so you can't just randomly go build nexuses everywhere. The SCV is going to move in through that pylon wall. It looks like that's not actually SCV tight. You'll see the 3rd. The Dragoon will come in and clean that up.
Observer is up for F10, and we do see a Stargate. I think is that the around the timing for Stargate?
No, because he's going double Stargate. That's actually very early for a Stargate, so I thought it may be for Arbiters.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Another thing that F10 likes to do is go carriers, and the fact he's not got the Templar Archives yet, or the Citadel Vadun, it means that we're going to see a fleet beacon, and there we do. I'm not sure if puppykiller actually managed to scan that. No, so puppykiller didn't actually, as far as I can tell, scan the area, so I don't actually think he knows these carriers are coming.
But Vortex is up, and the Vortex might go through the back door to go into the 3rd base.
Yeah, so there is a Dragoon sort of blocking the way. He's going to put up mines there, which is really good. The unfortunate thing for him is F10 hasn't actually transferred any probes yet.
Right.
So he's transferring them now, but they're going to be defended by the Dragoons. And the Dragoons nearly walked straight into a mine, which would have been very deadly, but
has an observer.
Yeah, puppykiller's damage has been mitigated here purely by the late transfer of probes, so that was quite unfortunate on his side. The observer's there as well, so he'll be able to clean up the mines. We'll likely say, oh wow, that's a very nice move by F10, actually walling in the vultures so they couldn't get out with the pylons.
Also, you have to build that supply at some point, so might as well.
Yeah, especially because you're going into carriers, and carriers are quite expensive in supply.
Yeah.
One thing I noted earlier about puppykiller's base was he went for those two really early Goliaths, which is usually something you'll do if you expect some kind of shuttle play, which didn't actually come. But the good thing is for him is he has the armory going for +1 attack already. That's actually just finished. So he'll, if he does actually scout this tech to carriers, he'll be able to pump Goliath out of his 4 factories, and he'll have the upgrade advantage, at least for the time being.
And there comes the command center going into that 5 o'clock base, but there's a pylon. So
yep, and this is going to be scouted. He's not really going to be able to do anything about it, because he has... I mean, in comparison, he doesn't have that many units. Yeah. It's mainly just Dragoons against tanks, and that's not a position you really want to attack up. It's a small ramp, and he's actually going to wall off as well, which is a very
And at some point, I think puppykiller is going to realize, hey, I only see Dragoons. Where's the Zealots? Where's the High Templars? Where's the Reavers? Oh, carriers. Because I'm pretty sure that's the only unit he has right now. F10. Only Dragoons.
Yeah, so he only has Dragoons, and while that's not too bad going into the mid game for Protoss, he will be looking around his base. I'm not sure, because I can't check his vision. It doesn't look like he's seen the fleet beacon or the Stargates yet, so he's not he's not started any Goliath production, and this is actually going to be quite dangerous for him.
And now the Dragoons are going after that supply depot that was built at the 10 o'clock position. Basically, both players taking out the supply building.
Yeah, so Puppy trying to be clever with this mines here. He actually does snipe the probe that's going to try and build that Nexus.
Yeah, we do see some Zealots out finally. Those are the first 2 Zealots in this game, in 11 minutes in.
The big thing is F10 is building up his bank as well. He will need the minerals for the interceptors when he eventually does move out with them.
Yeah, we don't see any Goliaths up yet, because so we do know that he doesn't know yet. Like, puppykiller does not know at all that there is this massive carriers happening. There's already 2 carriers out, building a 3rd and a 4th. Carriers are very expensive, so you can't really just pump carriers easily. You need a lot more bases for that.
They take a lot of time to build. I mean, the big thing with carriers is you don't really, especially on a map like this where there's a lot of... It's going to be very hard for puppykiller to actually move the Goliath around. It looks like he still hasn't scouted it. He's still not adding any
some Goliaths for the observers, but it does have a dropship, and maybe if the dropship does drop into the main, he'll eventually see the carriers.
Yeah, so the big problem he's going to have is eventually seeing the carriers isn't good enough. He needs to scout them early, because he's going to push across the map. Again, there we go. He just scanned it
directly
on top of
the carriers
are going up, and that's actually going to make the carriers move out.
Yeah, that's going to signal puppykiller to mass Goliath at this point.
Yeah, so he's going to need to mass turrets and mass Goliaths, and he's going to need to do it quickly. He's only building Goliaths out of 4 of his factories. I'd even recommend cancelling his extra tank he's building and just building more Goliaths. He's going to spam a few extra factories. He needs as much anti-air as possible. He's going to try and move across the map. There's not too many intercepts on those 2 carriers, so they're not going to be able to do as much damage.
But the tanks are going after the Dragoons!
Yeah, so there's a tank battle in the middle of the Dragoons. They're not actually siege, they don't really need to siege. And the big problem he's going to have is defending against the carriers. There's only 4 of them at the moment. The next 2 are about halfway done, but these 4 are going to do enough damage to force away this 3rd base.
Yeah.
He's going to rally Goliath out of... He now has 9 factories. He's building a 10th and 11th.
And puppykiller is just pushing out with his tanks, with his few Goliaths and vultures. He's gonna just go for the natural.
Yeah, so the important thing to note here is that F10 is in a really bad position. He doesn't have enough units really on the ground to defend against it. And if there's 11 factories worth of Goliaths...
And the carriers are being intercepted by the Goliaths midway.
Yeah, there was actually a little bit of misfocus firing. He shouldn't be focusing the tanks right now, he should be focusing the Goliaths.
There is a carry that's really almost dead. But thanks to the Dragoons and the other units, that 2 HP carriers lives for another day.
Yeah, that's going to regen his shield. He needs to move that to the back of the pack. And he also needs to chase down these tanks. He needs to be a little bit more active with his carrier micro here. I mean, it's important to note that puppykiller is now stuck on 2 base still. He's got a dropship, but he's not going to
one of the carriers goes down. Just now.
Oh, the carrier micro. Why is he?
Oh no! Another carrier goes down.
He needs to focus the Goliath more with his carriers, because what's going to happen is there's 11 factories pumping Goliath right now, and every carrier he loses is a huge loss.
Yeah, that is 3 carriers down right there. The Goliath's doing a good job sniping those carriers. Or more is more of the carriers running into the Goliaths.
Yeah, so the carriers have been running into the Goliaths, and also they've not been sniping them when they can. F10 is showing a decent bit of micro with his carriers, but he needs to be a little bit more careful.
Right.
He's still technically only on 3 bases mining, and he's now down to 3 carriers again, and if he doesn't get that critical mass of carriers, he's not going to be able to do the damage he needs to do. And these Goliaths have got these carriers trapped. He needs to pull back now.
He does. He's moving back Goliaths to his home base. And puppykiller was able to recover pretty quickly with his loss earlier with his tanks. With Goliaths and Vultures, a lot of Goliaths at this point, but he knows that carry is going to be main focus. Oh, Virtual sneaks into the 10 o'clock base, getting a few kills.
Yeah, like the one problem F10's going to have is he's adding a lot of cannons here, which is fine. But that Nexus is very low on health, and he really needs to start securing another base.
Yeah, so he's building pylons everywhere.
Now, puppykiller has 10 factories right about now in his base. He's pumping out vultures and tanks again. He's got enough Goliaths now to deal with the but minimal carrier count. He's only got 3 carriers at least, maybe now back up to 5. I'm actually trying to find them. So yeah, there's only 5 carriers out on the field. He has 3 Stargates, but doesn't really have the time to get out extra ones. He's only actually building 2. He needs to build another one out of his 3rd Stargate. And now he's going to have a lot of problems against this big vulture flood that's going to come out and try and snipe all his zealots.
Yeah, I mean, those vultures are necessary to go up against those tanks. Yeah. And the Goliaths too.
If he can use the vultures to snipe the zealots, the tanks are just going to roll through the very little army that F10 actually has. So
and the Goliaths know that where the carriers are, and he might actually try to go snipe those carriers, or the carriers are spotted, and the carrier's going for that base at the 1 o'clock position, but
he still doesn't have enough interceptors. Either that, or he's not done the micro where he brings them all out. But this is a very bad place for the carriers to be with no interceptors.
And I believe puppykiller has enough to split his Goliaths to trap those carriers.
Now, one thing I've noticed is in the top corner of the map above where the carriers are, there's actually a little island where it's mostly unbuildable, but you could probably build a pylon or something up there if you really wanted to cheese the game.
If you really want to cheese the game, you build a Shieldbattery up there to recharge those carriers.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. I mean, they are Team Shieldbattery, so maybe that's what we should expect.
Yeah, tanks are piling up, and tanks have been not sniped or attacked at all, so that's some strong tanks going up against those tiny Protoss army.
Oh, the carriers are getting caught out by the Goliaths again. This is going to be a bad position. He's actually stopped the 5th base from going up, but he doesn't have a 5th of his own. He's mining out of his natural, so he's only going to be on 2 bases worth of minerals. But as a lot of Protosses find themselves when they go carriers, he's actually flowing a lot of minerals, so even if he's not mining, he's going to be able to survive.
Oh, and this Goliath! There's massive amount of Goliath just aiming at that one carrier. Still alive.
So I think the carrier actually survived there, and he's up to 8 carriers. When he gets to 12, with good micro, he can take out all of these Goliaths. He will need something like Storm as well, though.
Managed to save the carries once again. The carries, he needs to defend whatever. At all costs, because they're so expensive to build. It takes such a long time.
Not only that, but it looks like F10 needs to work on his carrier micro.
Yeah, I know, he does. He's relaying those carriers.
He's not keeping them moving, so he keeps having to get the interceptors out again, which is not a good position to be in against this many Goliaths. Another carrier is going to go down. It looks like that's a big pick-off.
No, it lives. No, never mind. Take that back. That was under there. Oh, there is a a carrier missile leg that's going through the mid. It may be spotted by those Goliaths, and it did.
I think puppykiller's actually just going to A-move through F10 here with pretty much just Goliaths. There's nothing he's got on the ground. He doesn't have Storm. I don't even think he has a Templar Archives yet. And his carriers are just going to eventually die to the Goliaths when they come back.
He does actually.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, he does. He does, but he doesn't have any Templar right now. It doesn't look like.
He
needs a Templar with Storm to deal with those Goliaths. Another carrier goes down as well.
How many carriers does he have left? He has 6
left.
Okay. Meanwhile, at the 10 o'clock position, tanks going up, taking down those cannons, and eventually those Nexus. And F10 needs that base, because that's one of his 2 mining bases.
It looks like F10 has been using his gateways to pump Zealots, but Zealots aren't that good against Goliath, so he's actually going to pull back. And this isn't the time he can pull back in. He needs to push forward.
And now without cannons, those large vultures could easily take off those foes one by one. That's a lot of foes. Picked up.
Carriers. Looks like F10 is going to be doing the good old refugee toss style of going for the mining base of Terran, rather than actually dealing with the army.
Yeah, forcing the command center to be lifted off, potentially sniping those command centers. Now, for puppykiller, he does have that 1 o'clock position, and he's currently just built his.
Yeah, he's built 2 o'clock and he's
1 and 2 o'clock
as well. So these carriers are going to take a while together, and there's enough Goliaths to actually push them back. So they're actually going to get trapped down in this corner now.
And the 10 o'clock Nexus does goes down.
Now
the matter is.
Game, I was going to say the situation of the game doesn't allow for it, but he could do some really pimp here where he recalls the carriers into the top right corner. That would be so cool. That would
be interesting. But I don't think he has time for that because his 9 o'clock position is going down, or is about to go down. F10 is getting supply blocked. We have tanks and Goliaths and vultures. It's not even a big army, but he doesn't have the ground units to defend against this.
Yeah, so he's going to use his Zealots to try and do a last bit of damage. I don't think he realizes that puppykiller has 2 and 1 o'clock, so
the Zealots
he's got the game here, I think.
The Zealots are trying to do their best to distract puppykiller, but puppykiller is having his eyes for those carriers.
Now, the crazy thing is, even though puppykiller does have a commanding position in this game, look at the bank of F10 EQQ. Like, he has a lot of money.
He does.
Now, if he can keep killing the Goliaths like he is, without losing carriers, he could even still win this game.
Yeah, but there is 6 carriers right now put together. And those... No, it's not even 6, it's 5, I think. No, 6. I just counted. But puppykiller has 2 mining bases.
Yeah, and he has a lot of factories to make with Goliath. It looks like a lot of the Inceptors are dead. Is he going to stay in?
Inceptors are very expensive. They
one of the carriers go down.
There's the GG. The GG as the
2 separate line.
As the 9 o'clock Fortress base. We're about to go down.